October marks Domestic Violence Awareness Month, but for one local survivor, it's an issue that's felt year-round. After losing her mother and almost losing her own life at the hands of her boyfriend, Carolyn Thomas has become the face of this fight, hoping sharing her story will save just one life. We do want to warn you, some of the images in this story are graphic.
I think God kept me alive, definitely for a purpose.
Carolyn Thomas spends her days operating Voices for All, the Carolyn Thomas Foundation, devoted to helping others escape abusive relationships and begin again.
There is life after abuse. Like, you can come through the tunnel and, carry on.
It's a struggle she knows all too well.
Look what happened to me. I lost 80% of my face. I lost my mother.
15 years later, it's still hard for her to stand here.
I get anxiety when, just passing by or just standing here.
The place where her life changed forever.
December 5th of 2003.
Back then, Carolyn told her boyfriend, Terrence Dwayne Kelly, she planned to leave him. When he asked to come over, she said it was fine.
And sometimes I say, if I had not agreed to that, would she just still be alive today?
Shortly after Terrence arrived, Carolyn says he became angry, asking who was in the apartment. Moments later, she says Terrence began shooting. Carolyn says Terrence shot her mother in the stomach and then shot her in the face at point-blank range. The pictures taken after the shooting are hard to look at, but offer a very real view of domestic violence at its worst.
He had been saying for years, if I leave him, he will kill me. But we see now that he was serious about what he said.
Carolyn says the moments after the shooting were chaos. A downstairs neighbor heard the commotion and called police. Waco police officer Kermit Graham was about to end his shift, but decided to accompany his partner on one last call that night.
This is one of the more traumatic experiences of my life.
He stepped over Carolyn thinking she was already dead. Carolyn knew she had to act fast.
He came back and stepped over me a second time, and I grabbed his ankle to let him know that I was alive.
It was nerve-wracking because if anybody would have told me she was alive, I wouldn't have believed them.
Carolyn and her mother were rushed to the hospital. Realizing the extent of the damage was tough.
She took the bandages off, and then everybody in the room just gasped, and I knew it was bad.
Finding out her mother didn't survive was even harder.
It was just her time to go, and I was left here to do a job.
15 years and 15 surgeries later, Carolyn is leading the mission to end the violence.
If you are in a domestic violence relationship, you need to get out.
Teaming up with the man who saved her life and dozens more nationwide.
Helping Carolyn and saving at least one person was what I was looking for.
Hoping it won't take another bullet to save another life.
I am a visual aid. Now, if you look at me and hear my story and you don't get out of that relationship, well, you're going to be, somewhere in the same place where my mother is right now.
Terrence is currently serving a life sentence for murder and attempted murder. As for what's next for Carolyn, Waco native Mary Glenn is producing an update documentary on Carolyn's journey following the first documentary that aired in 2006. There is a GoFundMe set up to help with funds for the film. For more information, visit our website, that's kcentv.com.